I call Jackie Dean.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Rising to speak to the Sentencing Aggravating Factors Amendment Bill, which is a small yet elegant little bill and proves without a doubt something which the opposition, and in particular Carol Beaumont, doesn't seem to understand, is that this government backs the police.
That's right.
This is the national government which backs the police and the prison service, and furthermore is prepared to do something about it. And for that very reason, I am probably quite pleased that the likes of Carol Beaumont do not sit on the Law and Order Select Committee, which is charged with the scrutiny of this bill, because following that rather woeful speech, which showed for all time that Carol Beaumont does not A, read the legislation, nor B, understand it when she does read it, I do hope that we will have a decent scrutiny of this bill. Turning to the regulatory impact statement, it does indeed spell out in plain English, for those of us who can understand, that the Sentencing Act currently provides that the court may take into account any aggravating or mitigating factor that it thinks fit, in addition to the specific factors listed in Section 9 of the Act. But the proposed amendment, this amendment to the Sentencing Act, which shows without a doubt that this government backs the police and the corrections service, will provide an element of certainty by requiring the court to take into account of the fact that an offence is committed against a prison officer or a police officer. Now, if Carol Beaumont stuck her head above the union parapets and went down into the provinces, she might in fact have noticed that over the past 5 or so years, a number of our police and our prison officers have been under sustained attack by members of criminal elements in our society. What about that prison constable in Oamaru who in February last night, while going about his duty on Thames Street of Oamaru, was set upon by a couple of absolute cowards who beat him into the gutter? And do you know what that police constable did, who was on his own in Oamaru? He was beaten into the gutter. They thought they'd done their work. They proceeded to try and leave. He got up out of the gutter and he went and gave them a seeing to. Now that is the kind of policeman that our government will back. What about the policeman in Wanaka who was going about his duty as a sole charge policeman? You see, Carol Beaumont, in the provinces, our police have to go around their duties in a sole charge position. That's the way it is in the country. This policeman went to check out a woman driver in a car. She took off. She dragged him down the street. Now, this police officer and the police officer in Oamaru and the police officer in Alexandra and the police officer in Ranfurly know that this government has their back. And, Mr Speaker, this Sentencing Aggravating Factors Amendment Bill shows without a doubt to our police and to our corrections service that this government backs them. And I commend this bill to the House.